All right, welcome to Out of the Blue from the Block and Podcast Network, part of the Fan First Sports Network. This is the podcast equivalent of Meatloaf. I will not expand upon that further. I am Jared Stormer of the Block and Podcast Network. With me, as always, is Andy Bailey, my hetero life mate of the same place and time. Andy Bailey, basically an Amish person, but without all their weird stuff about technology, horse and buggy, any of that stuff. How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. You know, it feels good to be talking about a Michigan victory.
Oh, we get to talk about actual football.
Thank
It is
God.
back, man. I am so excited. Like, no more speculation, no more hypotheticals. We get to talk about an actual game that happened yesterday. So excited for it. And there's just so much good stuff to take away from it. Like, we're going to get into all of it, man. Let's start by touching the banner. Not a lot. I mean, since we just podcasted on Thursday, not a lot that's come out. Did want to touch on some of the injuries here, some of the folks that were not active on Saturday. You want to run us through that real quick?
Yeah, so some of the names listed were cornerback Caleb Anderson, quarterback Davis Warren, safety Rod Moore, running back Bryson Kozadal, running back Donovan Johnson, running back John Volker, sensing a theme here, linebacker Jaden Hood, offensive tackle Andrew Babalola, edge Devin Baxter, wide receiver CJ Charleston, D lineman Ike Awana, and also not listed, but he didn't play this week, was tight end Hogan Hansen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were saying he was available early on, probably something where if they really, really needed him, he could have gone. So I think trending in the right direction. Hopefully get to see him on the coming Saturday against Oklahoma. But we're going to talk about Marlon Klein. Like, there might be a separation occurring there. Excited to get into that. For the most part, these injuries, we kind of knew what was going on with a lot of these guys. Hopefully Rod Moore, we'll see him against Oklahoma. I'm really hoping so, particularly if Barham's out for the first half. Yeah, exactly. We might need him against Oklahoma, but nothing too surprising here. Is the Davis Warren, do we know if that's season long?
Yeah, he's out for the season.
I thought so. Yeah, I thought he was. Yeah,
he's out for the season. Babalola's out for the season. Donovan Johnson's out for the season. I think it's all the ones we know right now.
Yeah. So those will be the recurring ones, but yeah, nothing too surprising there. But brother, let's get into this game. Let's get into it, man. We got to start 30,000 foot view. Michigan versus New Mexico. 34-17 is your final. Talk me through it, brother. What was it like having football back?
Brother, it was a tremendous day. And a great season opener for Michigan. We got both sides of the ball, had some excellent drives and some not so excellent drives. What's funny, though, is this team has a lot to clean up before Oklahoma, but most of the areas are in perceived spots of strength, and very little has to do with the true freshman quarterback who turned 18 less than 2 weeks ago.
We're going to talk about it, but that is not my concern going into Oklahoma as well. And of course, lots to clean up, lots of stuff, like as the competition gets more intense this week and continues through the Big Ten schedule, far from a finished product, but overall it's impossible to walk away not encouraged. Yeah. And we'll talk about each unit there. Certainly some stuff on special teams that we'll spend some time on, but there's such a great building base. Like, we're starting from a better base than we were last year early on, where it's like, all right, well, we basically need to find a quarterback, find some receivers, get a run game going, get an identity established. Like, it'd be nice if we can get something on defense here. No, actually the defense was fine, but like, there's just not that this year, where there's like a laundry list of things we need to fix. It's tweaks. And I think that's just a great place to be starting.
Well, last year it was like you're building something and it's like just the scaffolding. And it's like, okay, well, we need a lot. And this team, you just need a fresh paint job on the outside.
Yeah, well said. Yeah, it's like we need to trim the hedges, maybe get some rose gardens, going in the front yard, something like that. Yeah. But the base is strong. Like, the foundation is good. We got working bathrooms. It's great. It's a wonderful place to start. It looked like an actual college football team. So let's get into this, brother. You want to start on the offense? Because we started defense so much last year. Should we start on the offense?
Yeah, man. Let's start there. Over 200 yards rushing and passing, 0 offensive turnovers. I think that's significant, especially when you're starting a true freshman quarterback. I think Chip Lindsey did a great job acclimating said quarterback and slowly allowing him to add more to his plate in this game. And I loved a ton of things Lindsey did during this one. I love the tempo early on. I think that paid dividends during the 2-minute drill. And the other thing I love about tempo that a lot of people are taking for granted right now is if a play caller, if their mic cuts off at 15 seconds, but their young quarterback rushes to the line, they get there at 25, that's 10 seconds of somebody in their ear from the press box, helping them with coverages, schemes, and personnel for the next 10 seconds before they snap the ball. That's a huge benefit to a quarterback.
I like that take. That's really great. Yeah. Chip Lindsey, let's start it there. I think that he called an excellent game in this one and gave his young quarterback some easy reads, like the early throw, the first throw out of the gate,
Perfect
right
call.
to Samaj Morgan. Like that's exactly what you need to be doing. And went for a first down, got him into a rhythm, but also had some cool stuff in there, some wrinkles, some window dressing in there. But for the most part, didn't show too much in this one, but showed that like he has a really good understanding of this offense. Maybe got bogged down a little bit in the second quarter where maybe could have opened things up a little bit there and was maybe resting on the run game a little bit, but it's nitpicks, man. I was overall really encouraged by Chip Lindsey in the game that he called and setting it up for Bryce Underwood to have success, which what a debut. And like it goes hand in hand, but what a debut.
It's a big time offense now is what it is. And there's a lot of complexities to it. It's not just your bare bones, your meatloaf and potatoes, if you will. I think there's a ton of RPO and read option potential in this offense as well as it grows and as they add more installs in the coming weeks. The only sequence I didn't like was the predictable run, play action incompletion following TJ Guy's interception from the 5-yard line. This is Michigan football, Chip. Like 4 straight runs from the 5. I'm trusting we're going to put that one in.
Yeah, exactly. And he'll get it figured out.
It's a
and as he
nitpick.
learns it's all nitpicks
Yeah.
today. Bryce Underwood in this one, 21 of 31, 251 yards passing, averaged 8 yards a completion, 1 touchdown, no interceptions, no turnovers from the offense. Probably should have led with that. The 1 turnover comes from special teams, but they played a clean game. They executed. Bryce Underwood was spectacular. It's the best debut I've ever seen for a freshman. Granted, there's just not a lot to compare it to. This is only the 4th time in Michigan history, but it was unbelievable, man. Should we get there? Can we talk about Bryce Underwood? Have we done enough foreplay?
This was the best debut by a quarterback in Michigan history. And I'm not talking about starts or freshmen, but I'm talking about the very first time we see a quarterback in a Michigan uniform. No one has ever been better. This was Michigan's best passing outing since Purdue in 2023. And like you said, the attack was super vanilla. No overly complex reads, no QB runs to put the defense on edge. Just simple plays for a true freshman to make and build confidence.
Sets the record for passing yards by a true freshman in their debut. Absolutely destroys Tate Forcier. I mean, he's got him by 70 yards in this. So by the numbers, it is the best debut of a Michigan quarterback. And the eye test backed it up, man. Like just came in and like you said, very vanilla early on. Like let's get him going. But then there's some like complex throws that not any quarterback could make, like some stuff that like Cade McNamara just can't do that. Sorry. Like doesn't have the velocity, doesn't have the arm talent, can't escape the pocket and things like that. The Channing Goodwin throw was longer than any throw that we had last year, and it happened in his debut, 39 yards. Not the best throw of the day. There's a couple more that I actually like more. And I mean, that was a lovely, lovely throw. I think that one was the post seam, right down the middle to Channing Goodwin. That was great. But how about the one to Kendrick Bell escaping to his right? Just eludes the pass rush, steps up in the pocket, gets his body set, and then just absolutely launches a missile to Kendrick Bell. Like incredible throw, showed some touch on the throws to Marlon Klein. I mean, just what more could you want for him, man? It was an elite debut.
Love that he gave himself a C+ afterwards when asked what grade he would assign himself. And like, again, I mean, if we want to nitpick and say there's things he can do better, you can. I mean, he has to do better against the blitz. His passer rating dropped 20 points when he was blitzed compared to 4 rushers. He has to do better pushing the ball downfield, only 4 of 10 on balls over 10 yards or more. But he knows this. And the fact that he has all that left on the table and he had this kind of debut, it sets the ceiling at places we couldn't even imagine before this start.
It's very difficult to imagine what this ceiling is. Yeah, as for negatives, I had one that was tipped at the line that could have been intercepted. That's going to happen,
That was that was the run play action pass sequence I was giving Chip Lindsey hell for earlier.
Okay, yeah, got you. I mean, there was that. I don't think he really forced anything into traffic. That was, there was maybe one throw that I can think of where it was like, all right, maybe
across the body to McCulley a little bit. There was that one.
That's right.
That went incomplete. But again, nothing too dangerous. Like there was nothing that
egregious.
Was just like it wasn't like a dropped interceptions or anything like that.
Right. Yeah. We're going to talk about Andrew Marsh, my beloved son, later on in this one. And there were so many times where I was just like, oh, my son, my sweet summer child. I never had to sweet summer child Bryce Underwood. I was like, no, this is a grown man doing grown man stuff out there. There was like that Kendrick Bell throw. I was like, oh, so that's an NFL level throw at 18 years old. Got it.
Well, I mean, he just came in. I mean, it kind of helped juxtapose next to the Texas-Ohio State game earlier, watching first-year starting quarterback struggle. Granted, different competition, different everything, but
Yeah.
Underwood was just under control from the start. No high passes, nothing skying too much. Like, he obviously missed a couple. Like, he wasn't 100% completion, but, like, just didn't play like a freshman at all. Like, and he turned 18 less than 2 weeks ago.
It's absolutely insane. And that ball is humming in
He
there.
can
And
sling
I
it.
think like as we kind of get into the position groups too, I thought the receivers and the tight ends did a great job because that ball is coming in there and they're doing a really good job of adjusting and getting their hands up quickly, having soft hands there, which you're going to have to do with this guy because this isn't Joe Milton where it's just fast to be fast. It's like that. No, this is coming in with a purpose and it's way more accurate. And a lot of times he's doing it because he can beat a linebacker, beat a safety to that spot just because he has that velocity. It's a real weapon. And like as he learns to control that velocity and like use that, like that superpower, man, I struggle to even think of the ceiling.
I think what I'm really encouraged about in terms of the velocity and just changing speeds on his pitches is the touchdown pass to Marlon Klein. Like that's a super easy one to sail because he's so wide open. Just throws it to him nice and easy, right in the hands, and just a walk-in touchdown. Seeing that, understanding you don't always have to throw it 110 miles an hour, but you can, is just going to open up so much more for him.
Yeah, and he had another one to Marlon Klein where he's like on his back foot and kind of just has to loft it up, and then Marlon Klein makes an outlandish fingertip catch that was just really, really excellent there. So showed the ability to feather it in, to play with some touch, so it's not just Joe Milton out there. And you know he'll get better to that. This is like the worst he'll be, which is an insane thing to say. Like that's the raw version of Bryce Underwood. We get him for 2 more years after this one. It's beautiful.
He looks like a third-year starter is what it looks like in this, at least in this game. I mean, we'll see how we discuss the Oklahoma game next week, but like in this game, he came out like a third-year starter, very under control, commanding the offense the entire time. And again, limited running menu. I can almost bet you real human dollars they told him you do not run under any circumstance against New Mexico. So adding his legs to the mix for Oklahoma is just going to add, I mean, come on. It almost seems unfair with what that could do to help open up the passing game and open up the rushing game for the running backs as well as himself.
Yeah, and you're totally right. Probably going to need it against Oklahoma. Didn't need it against New Mexico. And Mikey Keene still working his way back. Protect Bryce Underwood at all costs. So just a tremendous debut. We're going to do a little game of met, exceeded, or did not meet expectations.
I mean, clearly he didn't meet expectations. I at least wanted 3 bills out there.
This is the easiest one of the day. This man exceeded expectations. 100%. Now we had high expectations for him, but this exceeded even our lofty expectations.
This was better than I could have anticipated. I was hoping for like, I don't know, 13 of 20 for like just maybe 210 yards and a touchdown. Yeah, something very just under control. But to get to what was his final number?
251. Yeah. On good efficiency, like 1 touchdown, no interceptions, like
with 4 drops, by the way.
With 4 drops, only took 2 hits, I think.
Two
delivered
sacks,
2 sacks, delivered more hits than he took. That block that he threw on the Justice Haynes, that's when I was like, this is my guy. Like,
as soon as he
you have to endear yourself. Yeah, we all texted each other. The group chat erupted
fast enough. I know how much you love quarterbacks getting in on the action.
I was like, oh, that's our guy. And yeah, you got to like endear yourself to us. Like, I'm not just going to give you my love just because you're 5-star, the greatest thing since sliced bread.
You do that.
Yeah, that's true. You're already my sweet special boy. But there is nothing Savion Hyder could do that would make me not love him. But that block from Underwood absolutely endeared. Like I was immediately sold. I'm like, that's my quarterback. This guy, like, yeah, there's a lot of hype around him, but the team buys into him. He's got the leadership. He's not afraid to throw his own body out there. Like he's clearly taking to the coaching well. Exceeded expectations. 10 out of 10, 11 out of 10. Like there's no question about it. You want to stay on the offense here?
Yep.
Let's go running backs. Exceeded, met, or missed expectations?
Met expectations for me.
Yeah, I would say they met my expectations. Justice Haynes looked really good.
Yeah, I mean, it was Justice Haynes finished 16 carries for $159, 3 touchdowns. I mean, if without Bryce Underwood, this would be the Justice Haynes game. It wasn't even an average game for Jordan Marshall, his compliment, but I love that if it's 3rd and 2 or 3rd and 3, I have complete faith that Marshall's going to pick it up, which is why it was a little bizarre to me that Sharon punted on that 4th and 1 from the 48.
Yeah. I mean, maybe just felt like we didn't need it, but I mean, what are we doing here? I don't think that he would do that against
Yeah.
bigger opponents like
I'd hope
if
not.
that's Oklahoma. Yeah, I would hope not too, actually. Against New Mexico, you're right. I didn't think too much of it, but against bigger opponents, you would hope that he goes for that. And yeah, Jordan Marshall, 11 carries, 29 yards, 2.6. Really, Justice Haynes had the two breakout runs that really helped to improve that average. The 60 yarder, whatever it was, the first touchdown was huge.
This it kind of bleeds into our offensive line discussion, but I'm a little concerned about our run game consistency. If you take out those 2 carries, Michigan averaged less than 3 yards per carry in this one.
Yeah, it was one thing, and we'll talk about it Thursday
Yeah.
when we preview Oklahoma. That was a takeaway. It was like, okay, this looks pretty good, but I don't know if we're going to be able to run it down in, down out against the Oklahomas, Ohio States of the world. Like, I think we might have to get a little bit creative with how we're getting the run game going, at least right now. A lot of room to grow. And yeah, we'll talk about the offensive line. And actually, let's go there next. Offensive line. Yeah, met, exceeded, or missed expectations.
They met their expectations to me, but they backdoored their way there in the strangest way imaginable.
Talk me through it.
So the offensive line was much more cohesive than last year and really excelled in pass pro. Like, they were great in pass protection for Bryce Underwood, almost like they spent the entire offseason getting better in that area where they were so porous last year. They did a great job communicating twists and stunts in a way that was just completely absent last season. But the run game, man, it was really weird. Like I mentioned, that the 115 of its 201 rushing yards came from those 2 big plays. You take those away, it's less than 3 yards per carry. I mean, if you want optimism regarding the rushing attack, New Mexico's DC took Memphis from 79th in rush defense in 23 to 15th nationally last year. So he's the one that can kind of like change things around, give you some weird looks, maybe mix it up a little bit. But I do think the right guard is an issue for this team. Brady Norton started, but he rotated with Nathan Afobe throughout, and all in all, they were about the same.
Yeah, and that was something that we had our eyes on coming in, and looks like we were proven right about that this right guard is going to continue to be, I won't say it's an issue yet, but it is the weak link. Drink up, right guard, you're the weakest. And there's certainly some room to grow there, and the fact that they switched it up and went with Afobe later on is telling as well. So yeah, I would agree with that. I think the run game in general for the offensive line has a ways to go. I'll say they met expectations though, because this is about what we expected, right? That it was going to look a little bit better than last year, but it's still not elite level.
Well, it was weird, man, because like I said, met expectations because like one of it, I expected the run to be good and pass pro to struggle, but the pass pro was elite and the run game struggled. Now, I do like knowing that the run game is in there. Like, that's ingrained in this team's DNA, and Sharon Moore himself knows how to coach it up. And to further that point, on tape, this team has a more diverse running menu under Chip Lindsey. They had 15 zone runs, 11 gap scheme runs, and maybe that combination can take some time to rep out, to get everything a little more fluid for what they're going to do, to open up that full menu. So that could take some time, and we'll see how long it takes to click. But like, I much prefer having to figure out the run than the pass pro, because if we had to figure out the pass pro still, it means this team didn't make any progress in the offseason.
Yeah, and I don't have the specific penalties here. I think there was a few procedural penalties on the offensive line, maybe 2 of them. Not too egregious. We were penalized 8 times in this game for 65 yards. So
some of those were questionable.
Yeah, we can talk about that. That's for sure, including the most egregious one, which we'll definitely get to. So yeah, overall, I would say the offensive line, room to grow there, but about what I expected. Wide receiver room, exceeded, met, or missed expectations?
Missed. I expected more from the wide receivers a little in this game.
Okay, talk me through it.
I mean, maybe it's just because Marlon Klein absorbed so many of the targets and the yardage, but I mean, Donovan McCulley acquitted himself nicely, 4 for 31, was a force in the run game. Channing Goodwin had 2 big catches, but 2 big drops as well, but also good blocker. Andrew Marsh was, I'm trying to be nice because I know your boy was not very good in this one. He struggled. He struggled. Fred Moore had a big drop in this one, and there were just a lot of issues with route depth, distribution. I still don't know who the big play guy is. I do like Samaj got more back into his role to maximize his skill set, but overall I was expecting a little bit more from the room.
For me, they met my expectations because I didn't think this was a very good unit last year, and I didn't know how much better they could possibly be just by adding McCulley and Goodwin and a couple guys internally. And the big improvement was meant to come from getting a real quarterback in there and getting Chip Lindsey in there. But the room itself, I was like, I don't know how good this is. And so to me, I thought they met expectations. A lot of guys caught passes in this one. what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pass catchers in this one. So a lot of that credit will go to
Yeah.
Bryce Underwood and Chip Lindsey as well. And we're not talking tight ends here. Specifically, I thought Channing Goodwin made a couple good plays. And for a young guy, like that's encouraging for a really young receiver. I like what I see there. Samaj, what a real effort to get him involved. I thought that
Yep.
was telling. Like that was very clearly, it was almost force fed,
Yeah.
like where it was like, no, Samaj Morgan is going to be a part of this offense. And I'm like, I get that. Like he adds a different dynamic there. Is he ready for that kind of a workload? And is he that big of a game breaker? We'll see. I'm sure he's going to have a big game or two in there, but I don't look at him as like, oh my gosh, who was the Florida gunner that was just like an absolute stud that Urban Meyer used?
Percy Harvin.
Percy Harvin was the name I was trying. Like, I think that's what they're trying to make happen, and it's like, no, he's not Percy Harvin. I assure you of that. So
Could he be Curtis Samuel?
could be Curtis. I think like around those lines. Yeah, Curtis Samuel's just like Timu Percy Harvin, and we're getting the Timu version of that. Like we're getting several brands lower.
I like him getting in space. He runs so hard, man. I do like how well Goodwin and McCulley both block. And I'm interested to see what they do as they open up things a little bit more. Like, maybe I'm just taking a too short-sighted view, but only reacting to this game. So we'll see how it expands from here. I do question, like, who is the big play receiver? Who is the deep threat? Like I mentioned, or we were talking about Underwood, and he kind of struggled a little bit more pushing the ball down the field, like on those deep shots. Who's it going to be? Who's going to rise up to take that role?
They seem to think it's McCulley, and I'm going to go ahead and believe them, but we need to see it. I agree.
Yep.
There was nothing in this that really changed my opinions of the wide receiver room. So it met my expectation, but I can understand why you would be a little bit underwhelmed. And I'll have to go back and rewatch to look at some of the stuff of like depth of routes and like whose fault was it, and like did the receiver.
Just watch Marsh run the same exact route as Samaj Morgan on a 4th and 2. It's a tough one.
I'm not sure Marsh needed to be out there, but Anthony Simpson wasn't on the injury report. I'm kind of surprised we didn't see more of him.
Yeah, no Simpson, no Peyton O'Leary. I mean, another one's kind of like off to the side. Kendrick Bell was good though. I will say that Kendrick Bell was really good in this one. You mentioned the big play earlier, so that's a bright spot in the room. But again, I think the future of this room is what's more exciting than the present. Now, Fred Moore, man, rough game for Freddie Moore.
I know, yeah, who's already fallen down the depth chart, seems to have been surpassed by Channing Goodwin, and I thought Goodwin had a good game. So
it's tough with Goodwin though because it's 2 drops and 2 catches.
It's 2 drops and 2 catches. You get a little bit of the kid glove thing here because you are a kid, but yeah, I get it. So
getting soft in your old age.
I am getting soft in my old age. Like, he's just a boy. Let the boy learn. But with Andy Marsh, ways to go. And we'll specifically talk about him when we get to special teams. But yeah, tough scene from a boy there. Tight end met, exceeded, or missed expectations. Can't wait for this conversation.
He did. I mean, this was the Marlon Klein coming out party, 6 for 93, 1 touchdown. Max Bredesen continues to just be overwhelmingly dominant as a blocker and got a catch in this game. Let's go. I was super happy about
Almost
that.
got a touchdown.
Almost
ruined his reputation. Yeah. So I love this early season extrapolation. I know you hate it, but Marlon Klein on pace for 1,100 yards receiving and 12 touchdowns. Pretty good pace.
Good start.
Make him the greatest tight end in the history of the game. I was so impressed with Marlon Klein, man. I count me as like not a believer coming into the season. I thought it was going to be Hogan Hansen more so as the pass catcher. Marlon Klein just out there to be a token blocking tight end.
Yeah.
Not the case. We already know what he brings blocking. If he has those kind of soft hands, and he showed quick hands on the across the middle catch, I mean, just on an absolute laser, but then the soft hand fingertip on the feathered throw over from the sidelines from Underwood, to show both of those, I was like, oh, this guy, like, he's got this in the bag now. That might be a 1st or 2nd round tight end.
Oh man, I love this.
I'm here to absolutely breathe some fire into this. I was so impressed with him. Won me over in one game. I am converted now. I take back everything I said about the Germans. Well, I mean, I stand by everything pre. But yeah, man, I'm in on Marlon Klein. I think he's going to be a stud, and I mean, just completely changed my expectations. So exceeded in a big way, and I'm on board.
And the room as a whole is just going to get better with the return of Hogan Hansen, hopefully scoring later in the year.
Eventually.
Zach Marshall had some good minutes in this one. There was a route on one of the throws to Klein in the middle like if Underwood had just waited a tick longer, he goes to Zach Marshall on that route. Like that's the one that he's going to take. That's going to come with growth, but it just goes to show, man, having multiple tight ends out there gives you so much flexibility in the run and pass game.
Yeah, and as much as they were like trying to make the connection with Samaj Morgan work, looked like there's already a connection with Marlon Klein. Like that's going to be a real partnership this year. I think he's going to be an absolute weapon. So they got one there, and patience is a virtue, man. Named a captain, the first foreign-born captain at Michigan, and shout out to him. That doesn't happen for nothing. So excited to see what he can be throughout the course of this year, man. I'm converted on that one. Right, let's go. I guess we got everybody on the offense. Chip Lindsey, met, exceeded, missed expectations.
It's between exceeded and met.
It's tough.
Yeah, it was tough. I mean, I should just say exceeded because of what we had to watch. If you go back and watch the Fresno game and watch this, it's night and day, man. I mean, this offense, it's just a modern offense. And he did a nice job of marrying a bunch of schemes that Michigan ran last year, adding new flair to it. Just the physicality is still there, but the passing game is so much more advanced and so complimentary. And I think we have to give him, actually, we should give him exceeded because of what he did with the true freshman quarter. He acclimated him perfectly, set everything up for him, helped him grow. But also on the 2-minute drive, he let the kid go out there and rip it. And I really appreciate that.
Yeah. 8 different people caught passes in this one. Like still, there's a lot going on there. Like not only did he need to come out and win the game, but he's got to get a young freshman acclimated. He's got to get young guys ready for this season and next season. He's got to make sure that like some of these established guys get touches. He's wearing a lot of hats, and I thought that he did an excellent job. And like, really looked like a professional. We have an adult in the room there. So yeah, I'll go with exceeded as well. It's so nice to just have a competent play caller again, man. It is.
I love the tempo too. Again, I mentioned it earlier. It helps a young quarterback, let him be in the helmet a little bit longer and just talk him through it. And it's just like, it just puts the defense on its back heel. And especially when Michigan can be a balanced attack and run tempo, that gets really hard to stop.
And like 3rd and long, I'm just like, all right, here we go again. You know, we're going to run the ball, punt it, let our defense win this. Shout out to him for letting Underwood uncork one across the middle on 3rd and long. Like, I loved it. He's like, no, my quarterback can make this. We're going for it. We're not settling for a punt here. Like, no, let's actually try and push the ball down the field. The confidence there. I love it.
And again, over 200 rushing, over 200 passing.
That's balance, baby. We love that around here. All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll keep it pushing with our positional breakdown, go on to the defense right after this. All right, we are back. We are righteous men. We have already talked about the offense. Met, exceeded, or missed expectations is the gimmick. We're going to do it on the defense here. 17 points allowed. There's some nuance to that. If you're just box score watching, you're not going to understand that it probably should have been about 3 points allowed, you know, give or take some trickery, some really bad calls. So before we get into missed or met expectations, what was your 30,000-foot view of the defense?
I take all of these upcoming criticism with a grain of salt because Wink Martindale, defensive coordinator, was testing what he could get away with this unit. Similar to last year, like he's poking and prodding, trying different stuff. But overall, the defense forced 3 turnovers, held the Lobos to 5 of 14 on 3rd down with only 1 conversion over 6 yards, which, if you remember, was the bobbled catch that wasn't even a catch. So no conversions over 6 yards. And they were excellent in the sudden change situation after the Marsh fumble, where they only gave up 2 yards and forced a field goal. However, they will have to cut down on penalties and tackle a little bit better moving forward.
Yeah, I think that's totally fair. Only allowed 50 yards rushing in this one. The run defense continues to look like a strength of this team. I think it'll be totally fine there. Yeah, a couple areas in the secondary where I would like to see things cleaned up a little bit. But like, yeah, these are the nitpickiest of nitpicks. I think the way you mentioned it there, that he was seeing what he could get away with, similar to what we were talking about Chip Lindsey. Like there's a lot happening here in this early season game. I don't think that this game was about New Mexico. I think that this game was about Oklahoma for Wink Martindale, and seeing like who he could play, who he could trust out there for next week. So I think it was like a learning experience for him. Like, let's see what we got with some of these guys. A lot of rotations. I think before halftime, we had played 9 different defensive linemen.
That was before the second quarter.
Before the second quarter, we had played 9.
Yes.
So that goes to show you that he's still figuring it out. The depth is there on defensive line. Depth in the secondary, we'll see. I thought Mason Curtis came in and acquitted himself well at times, but then
I have some thoughts.
We'll see about. Well, I mean, he tackled really well, but yeah, we've Oh yeah, you've got some Mason Curtis missed tackle thoughts in there.
I do.
Interesting. Okay, yeah, I haven't rewatched the full game yet, so I've just got all my notes from the first watch and a half through. But yeah, so like we'll see what the depth is in the secondary there. I thought the linebacker play was really strong for the most part there. Obviously, Jayshon Barham gets ejected in this one for a targeting that was just a bad call. We can talk about that here if we want. It's dumb. I'm just not a fan of removing players from the next game like that for targeting, particularly early on in the third quarter. I just think it's a dumb mechanic. And I wouldn't have called it as targeting. He's 6'4", and that Jack Lane is like 5'11". Like, what do you want him to do there? So it was dumb. But yeah, your thoughts on the targeting before we get into this?
I'm glad Michigan's appealing it this week and
Yeah,
hopefully going to
definitely
have
feel
him back.
that.
I mean, I think anybody that watches that is going to be like, okay, like this is a little bit silly. And it just kind of came in a string of bad calls like down the line. It's like you start kind of like you're getting cheated. I mean, every fan goes through this at times when like 3 calls go the other way. You're just like, okay, well, this is fun. It's a good time, just like watching my team get screwed out of a possession here. But yeah, man, that was just a great football play. I can't believe the targeting. You, Tony, and I were all texting, just like floored, upset, emotional. And I think it changed the game in a way. I think it especially changed that drive. It impacted how people were playing. And it was just, they have to adjust the penalty for targeting. It should just be kind of like a flagrant 2 in basketball where you're just done for the day.
Well, it definitely changed the game because wasn't that going to be 4th down and long? Like at first, we're like, it's a turnover that's ran into the end zone by Barham. This is a massive swing. All right, he didn't fumble it, but at least they're punting. Oh, not only are they not punting, it's plus 15 yards. Barham's out of the game, and then they follow that up. It's the same drive where it's the incomplete pass that they missed. It's that following drive.
Yeah.
So the refs just like gave them 7 points on that. It was like a 14-point swing. So yeah, it was tough not to be a little salty about the refs. Didn't end up mattering. But me, who's like, I want our defense to be statistically top 10 in scoring, I feel like they jobbed us a little bit there.
It was frustrating. It was very frustrating. But what position group are you going to start with?
Let's start with the defensive line. What are you thinking? Missed, or exceeded?
Met expectations. Okay. First off, dude, New Mexico's Jack Lane is one tough SOB. I mean,
I can't believe he's still breathing.
He is so freaking tough, man. He got blasted in this one. You mentioned the complete elimination of the run game. Just took it away in this and held him to 50 yards. The pass rush wasn't as explosive as I anticipated, though. I thought a lot relied on schematics more than one-to-one wins.
Yeah, I was hoping to see TJ Guy and Derek Moore. Now, it's not devoid of some pass rushing wins. They did beat their men a couple times, but I would agree that I expected it to be down in and down out. You can't stop Derek Moore and TJ Guy. And, when they pin their ears back, they are formidable. Nate Marshall in this one, if we're just talking on an individual level, exceeded my expectations. That dude looks like he can absolutely rush the passer. So I think there is some pass rushing juice there that we've yet to see. And overall, I would say that they met my expectations because I expected this defensive line to be really, really good. Definitely can't say exceeded, and missed feels disingenuous. That doesn't feel right either.
You see, I thought TJ Guy had a much better game than Derek Moore. I honestly wanted a lot. I mean, he came away with the interception. He almost forced the fumble. I actually wanted a lot more from Derek Moore in this game. I was left wanting for he and Rayshon Benny, to be honest. Like, if you're going to garner all-American status and first-round status, I expect you to impact the game more than they did.
Yeah, Rayshon Benny did not look like an All-American in this one. I was definitely a little bit critical of him. Derek Moore, I think, I didn't realize had that All-American kind of hype around him. I know he was named captain, and internally we thought he could be great. Yeah, TJ Guy did outperform in this one. That interception from TJ Guy is low-key incredible.
One-handed interception?
Yeah, while the other guy's trying to like play defense and drag him down. It looked like a basketball rebound. Like, very impressive stuff from TJ Guy there. Got our hands on some passes in the lanes there. But overall, I would agree. Like, I'm left like wanting to see this unit. This unit should be one of the best in the country. It didn't quite look like that.
No, I will say on a positive note, Damon Payne and Eno Etta played outstanding. I think Damon Payne was the best defensive tackle in this game in both aspects. Eno Etta was great when he was out there as well. Wanted a little bit more from Trey Williams. Dom Nichols, super violent on the edge. But you hit it earlier, man. I think Nate Marshall is a star in waiting, and I don't think you can redshirt him this year. I think he's just going to be too good and explosive off the edge. Yeah, I mean, that last possession, they talked about, like, on the broadcast, how Wink had been just raving about him, and you could see it. Like, he's very green, but, like, the talent's
very
there.
raw.
You have to get him out there.
Yeah, very exciting player, and, don't get that 5-star for nothing. He's going to be an absolute weapon, and seems like he's going to be a weapon this year. And if it looks like Derek Moore, who I still believe in, like,
Yeah.
I think Derek
Oh
Moore's
yeah,
going to
don't sell
round
your
into
stock after
form
this
here.
one.
Yeah, absolutely not. I wouldn't dream of it. That's my boy there. But Marshall might be coming for your territory a little bit there. So excited by him. Let's go to the linebackers. Exceeded, met, or missed expectations?
They exceeded, but I did have some criticisms.
Yeah. Okay. Talk me through it.
Ernest Hausman was great in run support, but really struggled in coverage in this game. I mean, too many times he was just caught guarding grass in zone coverage and then playing catch up in man to man. Like, he just looked like he'd like lost all the momentum he had at the end of last season in pass coverage and just kept opening up spaces between he and the safety on the side there. And New Mexico took advantage of it at least 3 times in this game.
Yeah, that's a fair criticism. I'd say they met expectations for me. Part of that being when Barham goes out, you have to bring in Jimmy Rolder. Saw a lot of Cole Sullivan in this one as well. And I thought that those guys acquitted themselves well. And then, yeah, Ernest Hausman, high standards is part of it. Like, I hold you to an extremely high standard. So he needs to basically play perfect to exceed expectations. So it was going to be very hard to do that. I think Barham, though, early on, it's such a shame because, like, man, he was hitting and
He's
moving.
playing great.
And he was playing extremely well before he went out in this one. So if he would have got to finish out that game, maybe we're a little bit higher on it. Fair criticisms about Ernest Hausman in pass coverage there, but it's a deep room. Like, that part still feels right. I mean, I love what we have with Rolder and Sullivan and some of the depth there.
That's why it exceeded expectations for me. I have that criticism about Hausman's pass coverage, but I thought Barham was excellent. I thought Rolder was solid. I mean, some missteps, but he's a human being. I thought Cole Sullivan was an absolute freak show. Just a complete freak.
Sullivan.
Troy, then, I mean, we'll come back to Sully, but Troy Bowles icing it with the sack. Chase Taylor got in there for a ton of reps too, like the true freshman. So he got in the mix as well. So as a room, they exceeded expectations, but Cole Sully, man, Rolder was solid, but I think Cole Sully's coming for that third linebacker spot.
Quickly, because I had notes on him from special teams as well. He's a special teams standout, and then he gets in and he absolutely is like Jake Ryan as a freshman level of, like, you can't deny this guy. He's
That's what he looks like.
Too good. Yeah, that's my comp for him, which is one of my all-time favorites to watch, where it's just like, I don't know what's happening here, but this is a guy and he has to be on the field. So, I mean, you get the Nate Marshall pressure that leads to the Cole Sullivan pick, and then he almost follows it up with a strip sack, gets the sack, but that ball came out. And I was like, he almost had 2 turnovers in like a span of 5 minutes.
And he's fast.
Yeah, he's a stud, dude. Like, that might be the jersey. Give me a Sullivan jersey.
I mean, yeah, it's crazy. Like, when I talked about at the top, like, some of our strengths I'm critiquing a little bit. It's like Ernest Hausman, but also it's like, look at Cole Sullivan. Look what he is doing out here. And it just gets me so excited for the depth this year. But like next year, having Troy Bowles and Cole Sullivan back there, boy.
Yep. No, I'm with you. I love this unit this year, though, to have that kind of depth. Those guys already ready to step in, and makes, like, missing Barham, if you do miss him for half the game, you're not panicked. It'd be nice to have Barham, though. My goodness. You know, we're going to talk about that in depth on Thursday. All right, let's go to the cornerbacks. Exceeded, met, or missed expectations. I'll start with this one. Missed for me. Missed. Some of it is the depth.
Let's do the secondary as a whole, because they all missed.
Let's do the whole secondary. Yeah, missed expectations. And we're going to be a little overly critical here for a team that ultimately played well on defense, but I expected a lot more. JoJo Edmonds, rough for me. I didn't love what I saw from JoJo Edmonds there. I'm not sure that he can be counted on right now. But also at the starters, like, I think that the starters need to be better across the board. Brandon Hillman, you're accepted for me, just because of the hits that you laid out there. But, in coverage, I'll have to go back and rewatch. I'm sure even he's culpable for some of it.
He was good. From what I saw, Brandon Hillman was a menace all night long. Zeke Berry looked quick and physical. They really went away from him for most of the game. But, I mean, Jaden Mangum struggled. TJ Metcalf at times struggled in coverage. Good.
He had some good moments, though.
He did have some good moments, especially towards the line of scrimmage in that red zone series. Jair Hill and Mason Curtis were bad.
Jair Hill I had as a bad.
They were bad.
I just had him as like a failing grade.
They were both bad. I think Mason Curtis needs to move to linebacker right now.
Yeah.
He gave up 4 receptions for 44 yards, almost more than double any other player. And he missed 2 of the secondary's 3 missed tackles. He was responsible for those. And like, even on that Brandon Hillman pick, he was so out of position. Like, I don't think he has the speed to keep up with these receivers in space. So like, if you can move him to linebacker in the future, even this year, and get Rod Moore in that spot, the whole secondary just dramatically increases. Like, he had some good moments with some big tackles and stuff, but like the negatives outweighed the pros for me in this one.
That's totally fair, because all the good stuff that I have about Mason Curtis, it's all very like the exciting stuff. It's the sexy stuff. It's like, man, when he hits you, you feel it. Stuff like that.
Sounds
But
like
it's
a
all right,
linebacker.
well, yeah, exactly. Sounds more like a linebacker there. So that's totally fair. But it was exciting to see him and Hillman out there just laying wood, but we'd probably prefer that you just hold your ground in coverage and you stick with your guy, and that, yeah, and you don't miss tackles and do the basic things that we need you to do. And then Jair Hill, I was just disappointed, man. Like, I had such high expectations for him, and he's got a ways to go, it looks like, if he's going to be on that elite level. And it starts next week with like a real quarterback that can really carve you up in John Mateer. So I'm a little nervous.
It just looked like a completely different player from the last time we saw him in the Alabama game. I mean, there was the miscommunication on the switch release with Barham where he just lets the guy run over the middle and make the catch. He's guarding nobody. There was the pass interference in the end zone. And then there was the touchdown he gave up to the tight end who just smoked him off the line of scrimmage. Get juked by a tight end off the line of scrimmage. Like, you're a corner. Like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, and to talk about the player, I mean, who early on was getting the first round buzz, it's like, you guys have not watched enough Michigan. Or like, I mean, he'd been playing better, but like, this was not the step forward. This was a step backwards from last season.
Yeah, that's why you don't buy into preseason mock drafts.
No.
Like Arch Manning number 1, Jair Hill number 5. It's like, go for it. Like, those guys both need to go back to school.
Yeah.
Based on what I saw. So yeah, he needs to improve. What makes me nervous is like the depth isn't there. There's like no one pushing him. Like, the guys that are pushing him are Shamari Earls and Jaden Sanders. Like, because JoJo Edmond looked unplayable. So if he's not going to push him, I'm like, okay, it's got to be the transfers. It's got to be. And Caleb Anderson was out.
Yeah.
So
Dotson was in this, so Elijah Dotson and Jaden Sanders.
Elijah Dotson
corner.
played.
Did Earls play?
I don't think Earls played. Sanders got in before him.
Sanders and Dotson played. Jordan Young played at safety, had some good minutes there, as did Jacob Oden.
Jacob Oden got in.
But at corner, Jaden Mangum, really quick. That trick play, that was his man. Like, brother, just stay on him. Like, just stay on. I mean, a beautiful trick play. I really respect Jason Eck and what he does offensively a lot. Like, the team was really well coached, and that trick play was cool. But Jaden Mangum, just stay on your guy. That's all you have to do.
Yeah. Yeah. A brief aside, Jason Eck's going to have that team like competing in 2 to 3 years, and then he's getting a good real job. I think that he's like a legitimate coach.
This game was eerily similar to the Idaho-Oregon game last year, man. Like, very similar, where like Oregon dominated in yardage but only won by 10. And same thing with Michigan in this one. We almost doubled him up in yardage, but only won by 17. Like, he gets the most out of him, and he has that good defensive coordinator from Memphis I like now to help with the run support. A quarterback who's just a warrior. Like, I think New Mexico is like, I mean, that behind that kind of performance, like, I think they're going to build something.
Yeah. I think they're going to win some games this year, and like next year and the year after that, as he gets that program heading in the right direction. Good. I mean, I hated him during the game because he was like smiling. After Barham got ejected, I'm just like, wipe that smile off of his chubby face. I hate this guy. But then afterwards, I was like, nah, he seems like an all right guy. Probably drink a couple Coors Lights with this guy and it'd be fine.
Some of the play stuff he did was very unique and creative. I loved the screen they ran where it acted like it was a snap, like a false start. That was brilliant.
It was awesome. It worked.
And all the stuff they did with their tight end, who I really liked in this game, the one that smoked Jair off the line of scrimmage, was talented. Like, he was a very talented tight end, and they got him open in very unique ways. So I was impressed.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. They did say on the broadcast that the trick play, that they meant to roll it on the ground to him, and I'm just like, bullshit.
No, they did.
I'm calling
100%
bullshit there.
did.
Why would you design a play to roll an oblong ball?
Well, it goes
on the ground
because it goes between the quarterback's legs. Like, you can't just snap it like up. You have to like get it back like through his legs, so that angle is weird. You have to put it on the ground.
So it has to go on the ground.
Yeah, because the quarterback's underneath in center.
Right.
And so you got to snap it through his leg, so you can't get that angle straight back to the running back. It has to roll to him.
Interesting. That's ballsy then. So I guess maybe more power to you for calling that, because that can go a million different ways. Like, you're talking about the trajectory of something that you can't. Yeah, like if I roll a basketball at you, I pretty much know the trajectory. You're rolling a football, like, lot can go wrong there, but ballsy call, ended up working for him. Kind of reminded me of some of the old Michigan State games where it's like they have to go deep into the bag of tricks early on to get into the end zone. And and credit to them. They did. Anyways, where were we at? We got way out of pocket here
Secondary.
talking about secondary.
Secondary missed expectations, and we should probably just go on to special teams.
Yeah. Wink Martindale, exactly what I expected. He met my expectations.
Yeah, like he's going to work some things out. I think we'll see a little bit more bread and butter, but he was just trying a bunch of things like he does to give different looks, test out these guys. But as we know with Wink, like during money time late in the year, he's going to be money.
Yeah, and I really hope this secondary has room to level up, because other than Hillman and Zeke Berry, there's Rod Moore coming back would really lift all ships here.
It would do wonders, my friend. It would do wonders to get him back there from a communication standpoint and just to help get Mason Curtis off the field a little bit.
Oh man, how quickly we've changed our tune on Mason Curtis. But
when I watched him just running for dear life like this, trying to catch the receiver, I was like, thank God Brandon Hillman came over. I was like, thank God he was back there, because otherwise he was about to get smoked for like a 70-yard touchdown.
God, there's a play where Hillman and Houseman are in pursuit and they both hit the guy at the exact same moment. And I'm just like, that, you could just feel it. Like you hear the pads crack. And it was like my first we're back moment. I was like, God, it's so good to have this back. Like those two in pursuit, that's nasty.
And Mason Curtis had some good stuff at the line of scrimmage, but again, it's the coverage where I have the issue.
I'm with you there. Special teams. Oh boy. We almost need to separate special teams, because we do need to separate it, because Dom Zavada, you're perfect. We almost don't even need to talk about Dom Zavada.
No, Dom Zavada met expectations.
Keep it pushing.
Let's talk about coverage and return separately.
Yeah, I completely agree, because coverage was excellent. I want to hear you talk about it though, because you have some great thoughts on this.
Coverage was excellent, man. New Mexico's returner, Abraham Williams, is dynamic. I mean, he is a weapon back there, has the ultimate green light to bring the ball out and try to make something happen. And as you see from a team that's willing to bounce the ball to their running back to throw the football, like they'll take some chances. So with a dynamic returner like that, you have to be very disciplined in your alley. And by alley, I mean the lane you were in charge of running down, not all pursuing towards the ball and leaving an open lane on the backside. And they did a great job of that all the time, because he did try to cut a couple back and make some big plays. But every time he did, there was a Logan Forbes or a Joe Taylor or a Cole
Sullivan
making a tackle and coming up big. So I thought the coverage was excellent in this game.
Yeah, they have a lot of starters out there too. I saw like Freddie Moore was on coverage.
Best play of the game for him.
Freddie Moore's best play was on special teams. There's no doubt about it. But Cole Sullivan, like, standing out all over the place there. Yeah, like from a personnel standpoint, I think that a lot of individual names, but you're so right to just call out the coverage and keeping those alleys and everyone being extremely disciplined. It's a part of the game that's not sexy and doesn't get talked about a lot, but super important, because when you look at the other side of it, our ability to return.
Oh, God.
Boy. 2 balls hit the deck in this one. One, Samaj Morgan on a muffed punt. That was a nuke, but still, like, he's got to be able to handle that one. And then Andy Marsh brings the kickoff out and not carrying the ball close to his body, does turn it over. That one leads into points. So obviously that's unacceptable. And we're hoping that not only can we get that cleaned up, but this is just a recurring thing. This is still kind of a hangover from last year a little bit with some of the special team stuff.
Yeah, JB Brown's not beating the allegations anytime soon.
No.
I mean, the coverage was a nice step forward. Dom Zavada is kind of on his own over here. Like, he'd be good with or without a coordinator. But man, the return game has to get figured out, because we're just leaving first downs and yards on the table. Like, with every punt return, first down should be the goal. One less for Bryce Underwood in the offense. And for a kick return, just get better field position than a touchback if it's out there. That's all you have to just get to the 30. That'd be lovely. I mean, let's start at the basic. Just hold on to the damn ball. Please, God, do this. I can't handle another Jake Thaw in my life. I just can't do this again.
A turnover on special teams is so unacceptable. We have a freshman quarterback. Like, he's going to turn the ball over. It's going to happen. Like, Bryce Underwood's got a couple interceptions in him this year. But what we can't be doing is turning the ball over in the third phase of the game.
No.
Absolutely. Just that is going to crush any momentum. And we've got to be a balanced team that wins the turnover battle. That's kind of always what Michigan has wanted to be. And when we're at our best, that's what we're doing. It's completely unacceptable. I'd be very surprised if Andrew Marsh is out there for Oklahoma, because you can't risk that. You absolutely cannot risk against Oklahoma. Like, that's probably turning into 7. Props to the defense for only holding them to 3 after Marsh turns it over. Our only turnover of the day is on special teams. So if you want to look at that as a positive, you can. I choose to look at it as like, why are we turning the ball over in the third phase of the game? Like, if you just have someone out there that just catches it and lets it go for a touchback and never brings the ball forward on a punt return, we're good with that. Like, you don't need to advance it at all. Like, brother, just hold on to the ball. Like you said, like, the bare minimum is what we're asking for. And now we have a good enough defense and offense that we should be able to make up for that. But trying too much, Andy Marsh, just a boy out there, but man, it's got to get cleaned up.
I hope they put Micah Capana back there
I like it
for next week, like just to have a little bit more stability there. He's a natural runner with the football, being a running back. And I think it was the 2010 Chargers who were first in total offense and first in total defense, but last in special teams, and they went 9-7. Like,
yeah,
that's how important special teams is. So we can't do this, especially on the road next week. I mean, that could completely swing a game. Andy Marsh needs to buy the defense steak dinners for not letting the game get out of hand. After being on the field for like 8 minutes and then fumbling it, and they come out and only allow 2 yards and force a field goal to mitigate the damage. That was such a big stop by the defense for him in that situation, because it felt like classic Michigan, like avalanche against them. It's like, okay, we have a lot of momentum. It's like, okay, there's a drive, there's a touchdown, we'll get it back. Fumble. All right, now we're on the disaster train. This is what we're going to do now. This is fun. So we've all been there. So we're having flashbacks like Vietnam vets here in fireworks, but we have to get that cleaned up before Oklahoma. We have to, because that could be the difference in the game.
Or just let every kick sail over your head into the end zone, and we'll just start at the 20.
And same thing with the punt return. You know what? Just don't put a returner back there.
Yeah, fine. Just let it coast down and stop at the 1. Yeah, better than a turnover. At least we have the ball.
Better than a turnover.
It shouldn't be that. Yeah. And like I hold Samaj Morgan to like a much higher standard. He's a junior versus Andrew Marsh as a freshman. Kind of seemed like they were just trying something with Andy Marsh. There's other options at kick returner. We can just swap him out. But Samaj might be the best answer we have at punt returner. Like, we need you to be better.
Just catch the ball. Like, I mean, we got so spoiled with Jabril Peppers to Donovan Peoples-Jones to AJ Henning, just so sure-handed. You know, we just took it for granted all those years, just, bringing in everything. Well, maybe DPJ post his freshman year, but everyone just being so sure-handed in those later years. And now Samaj is in year 3, and that ball just goes right through his arms. I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh God, here we go again. Like, just put Jordan Marshall back there, put somebody else, put Jamar Browder, put Marlon Klein. He can do it all.
Marlon Klein. Honestly, it might come to that. Like, with his soft hands, I'm fine with it. Big boy. All right, brother. Let's get into 3 overreactions from this first week. So we're going to start with Michigan. Then I want an overreaction from the Big Ten, and I want a college football overreaction at large. I love overreaction time, and it can be an overreaction that you believe, or you can be a little tongue-in-cheek with it, however you want to go. This is my gimmick, so I'll start us off. My Michigan overreaction, I have 2. First one, Marlon Klein's going in the first round. I already said the extrapolated stats there. That's obviously ridiculous, but he showed me so much, man. I think Marlon Klein could end up being one of the best tight ends in the country this year. That was my big overreaction. I think Marlon Klein's a guy.
I love this. I love planting your flag on this island that we know, like, we already knew he was a dominant run blocker. And to add this game, finally see the receiving that we've been hearing about for 2 years. I mean, it's a good place to be.
I'm with you there. My second one, Justice Haynes is RB1. This one hurts a little bit more. There's a reason he got the first go of it, and this one could change.
I don't think
I'm
that's
not
an
as 10 toes down.
Though.
It's not an overreaction, yeah. So I'm not as 10 toes down on this. Like, he literally was RB1. I thought it would be like we're still feeling it out, and Marshall's going to get ahead of him. I think Justice Haynes might just be a little bit better than him right now.
It could be. He could be. Again, though, man, I'm very concerned about this running game right now. I want to see how it evolves in the coming weeks, but like, those 2 long runs, that was the difference. Otherwise, it was both of them just kind of running into piles. But I do like that both of them always seem to be going forward. Like, sometimes last year it felt like, maybe we're fighting for 1 to -2 yards. This year we're fighting for 2 to 4 yards.
Yeah, absolutely. So not necessarily a criticism either, certainly not of our boy Jordan Marshall. I think we'll get better, and we'll have some better opportunities, but can only give what's taken, or can only take what's given to him from the offensive line. So we got to improve there. What do you got, brother? Michigan overreaction.
The overreaction is Bryce Underwood's going to have the chance to win 2 Heismans.
2 Heismans. I love this. This is the kind of spice that I want.
I'm just like, he's going to have the chance, a la Darren McFadden being runner-up in back-to-back years. I think he could be a 2-time Heisman finalist very realistically and be in the mix to win either one. I think he could possibly get one. Like, he's that good. Like, I'm very critical of the quarterback position, as you know. Like, every year you ask me about a guy getting drafted, and I'm just like, no, he sucks. He sucks. He sucks too. But like, as a first-time starter being this young, he just does stuff that other quarterbacks can't do. I know it's New Mexico. I know it can completely fall apart on the road at Oklahoma, but the base of it is there, man. The mechanics are there. The understanding is there. And the fact that he can already play on time, that's something a lot of quarterbacks can't do. And he can do that. Now he can add to it from there with the running game, playing off schedule, improvising, getting through all of his reads, understanding that he can get to his second read and still be on time. Like that's the next step for him, but he's already taking the right strides early on for his foundation.
This is tremendous. I'm adjusting my britches as we speak. I absolutely love it. Not one, but two Heismans for Bryce Underwood. All right. Big Ten overreaction. I've got a bunch of these, but I'll just pick one here.
Fire him off.
How about all of them? How about Minnesota having a quarterback? I'm kind of in. I watched Minnesota it's just versus Buffalo. I get it. And he was 19 to 35. That's quite a few attempts, but he just showed me some stuff out there, and he's young. I think he's a redshirt freshman, 290 yards, 2 touchdowns, did have the interception. But I think with Darius Taylor there, they have some answers now on offense where they didn't before. So I think Minnesota could be more frisky than I anticipated, which I think was one of your frisky picks for a potential Big Ten team that could do something. I might be on board with you there.
Yeah, man, I think he's a redshirt freshman. I think he
is
20. He's good, man. I love that one.
Yeah.
Again, you and I constantly defend PJ Fleck and what he can get done at Minnesota with that program. I think they're going to upset somebody this year.
I could see it. Yeah, they might be the pick that I should have made over Washington, who that defense looked like they got some issues against Colorado State. But give me a Big Ten overreaction.
Oh man, I don't think any Big Ten team is going to make it to. I want to say the Final Four, but I'll at least say the national championship. I don't think Penn State's going to make it. I think they're the only team that can make it to the Final Four. I don't like the way the Big Ten teams are running the football right now, and you got to be able to run the football to be able to make deep runs. Like I didn't like Ohio State's attack. I didn't like Oregon's attack. Kind of went away from Mekhi Hughes, which was very odd. So a lot of question marks there, man. So I think the run of Big Ten champions being national champions ends this season for sure. I think it's locked in.
I mean, that's why they're overreactions. Certainly the lot of season left to improve, but that's a fair criticism. Yeah, I have one that pains me to say. Ohio State's going to be fine with Matt Patricia as defensive coordinator. It sickens me. And granted, Arch Manning looked like a junior varsity high school quarterback at times in that game, but I think that they're going to be pretty solid again with Patricia. And I was just hoping for a collapse. I don't think it's happening.
I can never say the word solid and Matt Patricia in the same sentence, unless I'm talking about the meatloaf he's about to consume.
Yeah, I know. It is truly a cursed image. When I first saw him wearing Ohio State gear, I was just like, this is like taking something I already hate and then like draping a swastika flag around it. It's like it's like watching a Zack Snyder movie, but replacing the lead actor with like Carrot Top. I'm like, well, this already sucked, and now it's got Carrot Top in it.
Honestly, it might be better that way.
Might be. Actually, I'm kind of into that.
Is that Carrot Top leading the Spartans? It's kind of awesome.
Kind of into this. Guess Carrot Top is Superman. That's bold, Zack Snyder. Yeah, truly cursed. All right, and then one overreaction from college football at large.
You go first.
I've got a lot. The Arch Manning one. Arch Manning just ain't ready. Like there was a lot to break down from that, and I kind of feel bad. But then again, can't feel bad for someone whose family owns a jet. So, but let's go with Clemson being in serious trouble. Clemson cannot afford another loss now. That schedule just does not provide them the opportunity. Like there's not a lot of makeups there. So the fact that they open with a loss at home to LSU, voters are going to remember that. So I'm backing off of my Clemson is by far the best team. They can still like get on a roll here, and I think they will, but there were some chinks in that armor that have me concerned.
Well, to the same point, LSU's going to win the national championship.
Wow.
You want an overreaction, right? This is not appropriate reaction. This is an overreaction.
Yes, it is. If Nussmeier's healthy, man, and that defense is what we saw last night, they could be.
Like the thing is, LSU didn't play that well yesterday, but like they showed that they have a run game now. That's a big step ahead of last season. They have a defense, not just a defense, a great defense, because that defense has been bad for several years now. But I think it's Blake Baker's their DC has really turned things around now. They have studs. They're playing Harold Perkins at a more natural star linebacker position. The Weeks brothers are so exciting and fly around. And the secondary has a ton of talent because it's LSU. and that's what they do there. So I think this team is going to be a really tough out this season.
Yeah. Similarly, I think Auburn is going to make some noise in the SEC. They might not win it, but they're gonna upset somebody. DJ Durkin is their defensive coordinator. I'd been hearing about how improved they thought their defense was. That's a real Baylor offense with Sawyer Robertson and some of those weapons that they have, and I thought they acquitted themselves extremely well. So I think Auburn's going to upset somebody, and they'll have something to say about the race in the SEC. Don't think they're going to win it, but they could impact it for sure.
I think Florida State could win the ACC.
Yeah, dude, they look good. I know everyone's saying Alabama shit the bed. I was like, yeah, there's two things happening here, but Florida State, that defensive line, I'm in. I am buying that defensive line.
And I like the offense with Gus Malzahn, because when he has a mobile quarterback, he can really do a lot of things in the run game. And Tommy Football might be the front runner for the Heisman, or at least a dark horse, but like that 5'8" trash talker, man, flat out said that Nick Saban's not there to save Alabama and that they can't handle him in the offseason. And then he goes out there and backs it up.
And does that might be my new favorite player. It was Tommy Football, man. I was in on that. That was a fun game. And I wish I would have been more 10 toes down, because I was like, man, Florida State, like, could they find a way to do it? Alabama, man, from the Alabama side, 4-4 as 14.5-point favorites under Kalen DeBoer. Previously, Nick Saban was like 131-5 or something, some absurd stat. It's not great.
No,
it's trending in a bad direction for Kalen DeBoer at Alabama, and they are not a patient fan base.
No, I mean, this is the price you pay, though, for following the GOAT. Like, you always knew this was going to be the standard.
Yeah, it's tough. So fascinating start, to college football. I was very overall impressed with, we had some fun upsets. We got some new upstart teams. The quarterback, I think, like, maybe I oversold like how good the quarterback play was. We'll see. I mean, it's just week one, but like Mendoza, Klubnik guys, I was like a little bit underwhelmed. But then there were some other guys like Tommy Castellanos that stepped up that are pretty exciting. But fun week one, man, and it continues next week. And we got our big one on the docket. So this was kind of low stakes, low stress watch, although it's never low stress or low stakes for us.
No.
The stakes get raised next week. And man, I'm already nervous.
I'm pumped, man. I mean, I'm so excited. I'm going to be terrified all day because we have the night game again. We have college game day. We have all of that. Yeah, we're back. It's exciting, man. Football is in full swing. It's going to be weird next week. College game day with no Lee Corso. The farewell got me a little emotional. I was very excited to see that all of his former teams that he played for or coached all won on Saturday. Like, that was cool. How can you not be romantic about this stuff, man? So that was awesome to see. So happy to see LC go out the right way. And yeah, college game day next week, Michigan, Oklahoma. We'll have our full preview coming out on Thursday for that podcast. Be sure to check that out. Drop us a 5-star review. And we got a jersey to give away. This will be the last week for it. So still time to make the push. We got a leader in the clubhouse, but would love to see a final push. Share our stuff. Really, we just want to expand this year. There's a lot of Michigan content out there, but we like to think that we offer something different. So if you agree, share our stuff. You'll get entered to win a signed Aiden Hutchinson jersey, which will be given away we'll give it away next Monday. So a week from this podcast, we'll announce the winner of that. We've got some t-shirts that are in the process of being mocked up with the new logo. And for those of you that were involved in the summer giveaway, those t-shirts will be coming. So I'll be reaching out to you to get your sizes. So appreciate all of you that participated in that. Thanks to producer Tony. I'm Jared. That's Andy. This is Out of the Blue. We'd like to remind you that wherever you go,